Hi there, everyone. It is time to check out the Italian entry for Eurovision today. And before I get going, I should probably point out that I absolutely love the Italian songs in Eurovision most often. And this one, I must admit, I have heard quite a few times because I was in Rome this year. And I didn't really have a plan on listening to the Eurovision songs in case I was going to make these reaction videos this year, but you couldn't escape this song in Rome. It played everywhere. So I've heard it so many times, but I've never heard it with headphones. I've never tried to analyze it or something. So we're going to try and do that today and really just delve into what makes this song um, a fan favorite, because it kind of is. So without further ado, let's just get right into this one.
In periferia fa molto caldo, mamma stai tranquilla sto arrivando, te la prenderei per un bugiardo, ti sembrava amore ma
Liking how the piano really allows his voice to carry the rhythm. It's like the melody of the song becomes the rhythm in a sense, and then these drums come in. There's a nice dynamic in this instrumental side of things. I like how there's a delay on this sound that they put into the percussion that makes it transition into the bridges. And the melody here is so great. Really goes quite high and sticks to it. And here's the hook of the song, quite a deep line bass line that really pulsates this energy into the song. The percussion side of things is quite minimal, so the bass line becomes quite prominent here. And there's a nice dynamic when they put in these percussive side of things, these percussive inputs, let's say. You hear all of these backing vocal elements being put in the very back here. Quite a nice input. There's a nice flow in his vocals. This build-up is great. The piano keeps quite a high energy in here because it plays the octaves. And the vocal lies such a great melody that really takes the focus. And then it drops into this deep lying chorus, which shows off a great dynamic between the two segments. And the claps that they put in here at the end of each bar, they give a great dynamic to the bass, like the deep lying parts that precedes it. And here they add some more quite exotic and foreign sounds in this breakdown to keep something refreshing going here. Nice use of ambience to build here, and then they drop it. Quite an interesting approach. Becomes a bit more emotional in this segment here, even though we had such a strong build going into it. And here we have this great melody that they utilized in the bridge before. Very nice drum fill there, quite distinct. I mean, it's a pretty catchy hook. And when they add these, you hear these guitar strumming, just don't really strum the notes, they just give off that strumming sound. Becomes quite cool in the soundstage of everything. There is quite a unique approach in the whole instrumental side of things in this one, which is quite cool. A lot of things to just really appreciate about this one. Mainly, I think the creativity is at a great focus here. There is such a great use of exotic and different sounds that they combine quite nicely to create this instrumental backdrop to the whole song that stays fresh throughout. You never really feel like the song becomes boring at a point in any of the parts in the song, because it keeps itself refreshing. Like, it adds new things. And since the instrumentation is so foreign to many listeners, it becomes quite palpable upon mainly the first listen, but also on a few listens after that. Me myself, I've heard this song so many times now, that I'm not quite like I'm not hooked entirely as much as everyone else is anymore. But there are still so many things to appreciate about the instrumentational approach that they've taken here. Vocal melodies flow quite nicely throughout the song. Really just palpable and poignant delivery in them. And I mean, the hook is, although it's very minimal and really focuses on lying in the deep or low register, it really has a way of sticking to the head because of the melody and because of the dynamics that it creates. Since the buildup is so bright in its dynamic, or bright in its frequency use, then the deep lying low end frequency use of the chorus becomes this great dynamic between the two segments that really makes it snap easier into the soundstage and makes it easier for the listener to really take it in. Because when you're used to something being quite up in the higher treble area, and then you switch to the hook being in the more lower bassy area, then that's quite it's kind of like a mind game in your head, that it really just, that transition and that change up makes it easier to really remember where what happens with the arrangement. So that's a really cool thing about it. I'm liking the bridges, I think, the most in this song, because they really show off this great intonated melody with a like a gorgeous resonance in the voice that really comes across greatly when the higher notes are being reached. And they also lie on such a simple, minimal instrumental that really just has these piano chords and quite a simple rhythm in them, so that the melody really drives across the entire rhythm of the song, which is quite a cool thing to do, along with these dynamical change up with the foreign instrumentation that they use from time to time again, with the guitar strumming and with the percussive hits. It becomes quite striking in that way and quite memorable. And there are just a lot of things how this song experiments with itself that is easy to appreciate. And I think that the vocal melody going along with all of this is quite impressive and remarkable, and not to mention quite enjoyable and entertaining to listen to. Those are some of my thoughts about this one. It's quite an interesting song to just sit down and really carefully listen to, because it does so many things that you might not expect and might not be used to. Anyway, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts on this one? I assume many of you like it, because I've seen it's quite the fan favorite out there. So tell me what you think of this song, and other than that, see you next time. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.